Good morning. Welcome to day 2. I'm glad to see mostly everybody here. That's a good sign. Now, everyone's here. It's been great so far, I think. It's great to see so many of our customers and be able to talk to you, see you in person, put names to faces, which real quick. So, I've been thinking about some of our speakers we had, and Brad, and that was pretty neat how he told us to do, I'll say, a lot of work, but so you can remember things. The problem is, now every time I look at somebody, all I can think of is that big toe with that. So everyone's got the same name because that's the only image I can have. So that's one problem. The other thing is I realized I can't come up and spin plates. That would be a bad intention. And the one, I did play third base. I was okay with that. And in all seriousness, talking about, I guess part of my problem, my responsibility that the younger generation, millennials, do what they do. But I do remember one time, my son, when he was playing football, he was supposed to stay low, and he didn't. And he took a shot that I didn't think anyone would ever stand up from. And he got back up. And at that point, my wife was saying, that's it, he's done, no more. And I was like, no, he's all right. Let him deal with it. So I guess I did okay with that. Because I just didn't take the hit, and you know what, next time, he stayed low. So, that's kind of the things I've been thinking about. I'm sure it's that big toe cat. All right. So I got a few important topics I want to talk to you about this morning, actually. And this is, it might not be the most exciting things, but it is valuable information that we all try to get on the same page for and with. It's things that will make the customer experience better, the VCS team be able to help you better. We're changing the way we've done some things recently, and it's been working out well. So now it's time to share that with the masses and make sure that you're getting that information. So the first, I got a couple topics I'm going to touch upon. It won't be overly long, so that's a good thing. Product support, product implementation and training, payroll exports, which I know you've heard a lot about, and I'll share some quick when we get to that, and then our new product update process. So that's the topics we're going to touch on. There we go. All right, so let's talk about the new product support model. One of the things we used to do in the past was you would call or put in a support ticket, and our team would do what they had to fix it for you. And we realized that although that's nice of us, it doesn't necessarily help, right? Because all of a sudden, the next time that same thing comes up, what's happening? We have to fix it for you again. Or we have to, make the adjustment in the system. We have to adjust the pay type, whatever it might be, check the box. And we realize that, although it's sometimes quick, it's a quick resolution, it's not helping the support process because we're not allowing you to learn what you need to learn. So we kind of modified this a little bit. We said, first of all, we're going to triage cases. And I know many of you have spoken to Jen. Jen is, and those members of our team, they're the ones now that are taking the calls, and they're going to ask you questions. And they're not asking questions because, they don't have anything better to do. They're asking questions because they want to help the experience of the support that you're going through. They're going to try and, make sure that they can get all the important pieces of your question up front so that when it gets to our product specialists and our support team, they can more rapidly assist you. So we go through the triage, the communicate, and then the educate. The communicate is, okay, you're in the queue, you're next. I have someone available now. Maybe we're a little busy, we're a little backed up, so it might be a short period of time. But we're going to try and make sure that we keep communicating with you to kind of let you know where you are. And then the educate part, right? That is now, instead of just fixing it for you, you're going to see us more and more want to work with you or potentially have you do it while the tech support team is telling you, okay, hey, click in this box. You want to enter X here or you want to enter Y there. It's not because they don't want to help help you, it's because they realize that this is something that is best if you become better at it, right? So it's kind of a process we're going, and it actually helps support tickets go down because you realize, okay, if this is something I can do. And typically, any one of the customers that I've spoken to in the past, like, you know what, that's perfect. I'm glad I know how to fix this now because when my guy or my girl enters this wrong again next week, now I know how to fix it, right? And then maybe how to educate them. So that's an important part of our new support process is the triage, the communicate, and educate. So the other part is obviously we do want to identify if we have bugs in the system. Now, granted, we would love to say that, hey, when we put out a release, it's gold, it's on target. But we know that we can't replicate every scenario that you all try to put the software through. So there are times when you help us identify, hey, this may be a problem, right? This could be something in the software that we have to look at. So with our new process, we have a much more fluid way of identifying bugs in the system, getting them attended to, and pushing them out into especially our new web portal, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. So we're making great progress on getting updated software, especially at the web portal level, to view the customer much more rapidly. Obtaining support. This is important too. And mostly people are pretty good with this, but once again, just want to touch base on the options. So we have our VCS web portal as we put in a support ticket. That really is the best way. And I'll tell you why, because we do have a ticket tracking system. And as soon as you do that, the timer starts, right? It's assigned a number, it goes into a queue, we can see how many people are waiting, we can see where you are, we can see information about what's going on in your case, and it's very, very helpful. You can send an email to support, all right? And that starts a similar process, but not as thorough, right? It doesn't give us as much information, but you can still do that. Telephone, many people call us directly for support. Essentially what happens when you call us directly for support, we end up putting in a ticket for you. We would rather you be able to type in what you want to tell us, rather than us interpreting it potentially if you call in to support. We're there to answer the phones, we're there to help you, but it is actually better if you start the process yourself if you can. Self-service, our knowledge base. I will tell you that over the past 6 months, we probably added about 75 to 85 new knowledge base articles. We have a full-time technical writer on staff now. All we are doing anymore with this individual is writing knowledge base articles. Solid, content-filled, step-to-step processes. And I'll tell you where a lot of these come from. Not only in new features of the software that might be up on the web portal, but also we use our technical writer now to follow the support queue. When we see cases that come in that are repeat type of cases, that obviously tells us, hey, this is something where our customer base is more frequently looking for help. So what do? We create a knowledge base article on it. I would strongly suggest when you have the opportunity, go to www.vcscommunity.com, look at a knowledge base, and do some queries on their security designer. Is a good one, right? All the documentation for security designer is there, and I do think you'll find the documentation very helpful. We have a good review process. All the documentation is aligned the same way. It looks and feels and reads the same way, so it's very easy to read. Screenshots, etc. They're very useful documents. Like I say, over the past several months, it's been over 75 new articles added to the knowledge base. One-on-one help out. Some of you that were in one of the discovery sessions yesterday talked about, I know Guy talked about it, the help out session. Matter of fact, who here has used the help out session? Just curious. Okay. I want more of you to use them. I really do. And not that I want you to have problems with difficulty, but I know that you have questions. Help out sessions are awesome. They are basically your one-on-one scheduled time to get answers to your questions. Right? If you're a new customer, we have implementation help outs where, okay, you're trying to get your system set up, you're trying to get it configured for your agency, you're trying to build new rotations or whatever it might be, set up some pay types, implementation of outs. We also have technical support help outs. We do have customers, they'll open in a support ticket, and they list one item in there. They get on the phone with Gary or David or Jamil, and all of a sudden they say, oh, why got you on the phone? And they break out the list. Right? I'm like, oh. You know, and I walk by Dave, and I'll say, hey, how's it going? I'm like, okay. So what we did, we started up the technical support help out. We realized that, you know what, we realize your time is valuable, right? Our support time is as valuable. And it makes it difficult when one of my support team members, you know, gets on the phone and all of a sudden now they're lassoed in for 3 or 4 hours because you have a list that we weren't anticipating. We want to help you with the list, but we realize that, you know what, why don't we schedule that? Right? Why don't we just make you say, hey, Thursday at 2 o'clock, I got an hour of time, and I'd love to go over this list with you guys and you know, have you work me through these items. So we did that, right? We now start up a technical support help out. We have many of them each day.
How do you get to that?
I'm going to talk about that in a second. And all these things I'm going to talk to you about as far as training and all, I'll tell you how you're going to find it out. So anyway, we have our technical support help out. Like I said, you basically go online, you hit a drop down of the date and time that works for you, you fill out a little bit of information on what you're looking for, and you're set. At that date and time, you log into a support session and break out the list. And let's go, right? Let's get those things taken care of. Maximizing support. This is something that will help you. There's basically 5 items that we need to know when we go to help you. So we've talked a lot about legacy over the past day. We've talked a lot about schedule app. We've talked a bunch about the new web portal. That is important for us to know what product you're using. So that's number 1. Are you using the web portal? Are you using schedule app? Are you still using legacy? But I know you get ready to switch, right? That's one of the items. The second item is, what is the user that is experiencing the problem? It may not be you, obviously. It might be someone has reported to you when they log in, they can't do X, they can't do Y, they can't see something, the screen spins in circles. Who knows? They give you some information. We need to know who that user is because that's valuable information for us. Next thing, what were they doing that caused this? Right? You know, they were trying to enter something. Basic information, usually you do have that. Next thing is if it's an error, which we really don't like to see error messages. If it's an error, what were they doing just before? In other words, where did they come from to get there, right? And then the ultimate goal is now to, you know, what's your time frame for resolution? And let me throw this out there, everything can't be immediate. We want to get it fixed, but you have to understand sometimes we actually have to go through the processes. We may even have to put software into debug mode potentially to see what's causing the item. Hopefully, it's not that severe, and hopefully it's something where, you know, one of the support team members says, oh, you know, matter of fact, we had one this morning. It was an extra duty billing question that we helped handle, and it was, you know, just some check boxes weren't checked. You know, we've seen it before. It's something that sometimes people overlook, and that's a perfect example of a knowledge base article for us. Right? That's how we're always thinking about those things. So, making your support session, you know, valuable means coming to the table with some of that, you know, solid information for us who the user is, definitely what the application is that they're using, you know, and some detail about what's going on. So that's the support process as a whole. The one item I do also want everyone to understand is that product support is not product development. And I know everyone here, you know, when something needs to be adjusted, it's important to you, right? And we realize that. But it doesn't mean that our support staff, you know, has the ability, has the authority, even has the understanding of how to add something to the product. And I know Guy had mentioned this, you know, yesterday in a couple of conversations. You know, when he first started out and he was a smaller shop and had a few agencies, you know, getting people on board and, hey, oh yeah, I can add that, I can add that. And, you know, write some module on an airplane on the way back, right? That's great, but Now we actually have to look at it differently. We have tens and tens, 40,000 users in the system. Our support people can't tell you, oh yeah, I'm going to get a box added to that screen for you, right? That's not something they do, and for good reason, because we add that box to the screen for agency A and customer B, all of a sudden the software stops working. So understand that there are processes now we have to go through. As we get bigger, as we get better, there's reasons why sometimes we can't do something at the on the airplane on the way back. It doesn't mean we don't consider these items. We don't want people to give us these big wish lists, because we have a pretty good idea of how this all needs to work. And then it's up to the creativity of Guy and our development team to get it all into motion to make sure that we kind of blend it in so that it makes sense, right? So that it makes sense and it happens. So that's the big support process, if you will. All right. Implementation and training. We've revamped that. So we have, who here has attended online one-on-one training sessions? We're online training sessions, they didn't know. Good. We're seeing more and more of that. I encourage you to sign up. These are free. Once again, I'll tell you how to get to all these shortly. The new support and training model is that we offer you free training as much as you want. It is focused training. So it's not a boot camp of, okay, here's everything about the system in 20 hours, right? It's you look at the classes that you need information about and you take the class. If you like it and you need someone else in your agency to take the class, they take the class, right? We greatly encourage it. That's gone over really, really well. You can take, if you're a new administrator, start with some of the basic setup classes, because the infrastructure, what's behind, your built schedule is important for you to know. It may not be the most exciting thing you're going to do on that particular day, but knowing what the infrastructure is and how it works will help you down the road. So definitely take a look at our support and our training classes. In the next release of the web portal, which will be sometime in the fall, winterish time frame, that's actually going to be a link in your help and training. You'll click on that, and it's going to bring you to the list of, I don't know how many classes we have now, 30 classes or something. And we're offering, I think, over the past 6 months, over 1,000 classes. So, if someone doesn't take advantage of training, that's a shame, because it's there, it's free. We broke out advanced training classes. Not everyone needs to know about payroll, right? Not everybody needs to know maybe about replacement policy if you don't use it. So we have those in advanced training sessions. Once again, you can take it if you get most of it, but you need it again, take it a second time. One nice thing about all the training classes, number one, our team is on par. They understand how you do business. They really do. So they can help guide you through the processes. It is all instructor-led. After your class is done, you'll actually get a link to the video of your class. So, the screen capture, the audio is there, so you can review it. Now, just for the record, it doesn't mean while class is going on, you do something else. Because you'll say, oh, I'll watch the video later. We want you to interact. We want you to be part of the session. All the online training classes give you the ability to be part of it. You can chat with the, whether it's electronically or through voice, you can talk to the instructor. We want you to be part of that experience. That's what makes it better. If you just sit back and listen and you don't ask your question, the instructor can't help guide you down the right path, right? We want to fit you into the mold. We want you to understand how the software works for you. Take advantage of those online training sessions. All right, so do we still come out to your agencies and train? We will. We will. We'll still come out to your agencies. We're not turning off that model. That is fee-based, obviously. And, we've had a bunch of customers that said, I really want someone here, and we've encouraged them maybe to try the online training, and it's been successful. A lot of times they say, that actually worked out well, because now I don't have to block out an entire day. Well, I don't have to get 3 people in for an entire day of training or a week of training. they kind of take it ad hoc as needed. So the model is there for you to use, whether it's fee-based on-site or in online training. Definitely get the online training a go. Take the class and just see what it's like. Interact with the instructors. All right, here we go. Payroll exports, and custom reporting. Guys said yesterday that when we complete payroll export, we all get up and high five each other in the office. That's pretty much accurate. Yeah, that's pretty much on point. The payroll export and custom reporting process can be a little bit painful. We have some really great ways that we're getting ready to manage that better and push that out to the customer. So that sometimes is how we feel the payroll export discussion goes. We're trying to get the information, and the customer, the clients, they have some information. They don't understand what's needed in our system. Potentially we're trying to piece it together, and at the end of the day, well, you can do it, right? Well, yeah, we can. But it's important for us to get the information that's actually required to tell you, number one, yes, it does this, no, it doesn't do that. In other words, we can't make exports or custom reports for information that's not in the system, right? The whole geometry thing. If it's not something you're tracking, it's not something that's part of our process, and we're not going to be able to give that to you. But I will tell you what we've done now, though, in our export, and it's actually going to appear in our custom reports, because to us, they're almost the same. For you at the user side, there are different menu options and such. Really, on our back-end side, custom report and export are very, very similar. We're actually developing templates. We're developing kind of master templates that you'll be able to pull in, whether it be a custom report or a payroll export, and essentially modify or adjust that as needed. We realize that not everyone currently in our export system has the ability to sit down there and start typing in crazy characters to come up with some mystical magical report. But what we do know is we have 70, 80 different custom reports that have been designed and they work well, whether they're roster reports, whether they're payroll exports. And ADP is ADP, right? HR solutions is HR solution, right? The different, whatever payroll vendor you're using, we know what they're looking for. They're looking for, either hours worked, they're looking for schedule exceptions, they're looking for overtime, shift differential. So what we're doing is we're creating basically templates for all those, give you the ability to pull them into your system, sign up for your help out, sign up for a training class, look at how to take these report templates and modify them. Make them fit what you need. We're there to support and help you, but once again, trying to make you, the customer, a little more self-service, so you're not waiting on us for some of these items, right? Because obviously, if we get involved and we need to have discussions with your vendor, sometimes it's timing and things do extend out. So you'll see that the payroll exports, the custom reports are going to start appearing. You're going to be getting notifications, where you can download them, how you can download them, and there'll be documentation to help you through those. It's working pretty well with us generating templates. One of our guys here, Josh, I'll call him out by name, he's been spending a lot of time making up these templates for us. And you'll actually see probably at some point in time where it'll have a little bracket to say, employee number, or pay type or something like that, and you'll just make the adjustments. So the reporting and the exporting is going to take on a little different look and feel, but we think it's all going to be to really, really help you out. The custom reports, roster reports, TIR reports that people are looking for, they're just going to be available in the custom reports. You can adjust them, leave them as is. See if they fit your need, and move on. All right. This is kind of the magic. We're talking about product updates now, right? So, as a lot of you know, our new web is really, really important to us. With that, we think it's really important for you. We're also getting ready to introduce, we moved some customers over to this, what we call our new login server. What is nice about people currently, a lot of you have a web portal that might be, app3.vcsapps.com/department name, something similar to that. Well, what's going to happen is you're going to see very shortly that we're going to recommend that you move over to what we call login. It's just be login.vcssoftware.com, and in the near future, it's even going to appear as a link on our web page where you can just log in, just like you do with many, many different accounts you have. Whether it be your bank or Best Buy, I don't know, whatever, Amazon, you go to their page and you log in. We're going to be doing similar items. What's nice about this, I will tell you, what we call our login server is updated very, very frequently. As we roll out, application updates, as we roll out potentially bug fixes, they get there first. They go through a testing process. We feel it's ready. They go there. We can update that rapidly. Some customers recently who have transitioned, that's why they've transitioned, because we have some updates ready and available here that we can't get into the web portal yet. As I mentioned yesterday, I'll do it in 1 second. As I mentioned yesterday, we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of web pages. For us to update those can be timely. It can take a lot of resources. Here, we update here, and you're good to go. And it's one big web page for us. Keep in mind, doesn't mean that everyone's data is commingled or anything like that. For the IT folks in the house, everything still stays the way it was on the back end. It's just how you access the web page is differently now. This does ask you have an option, site code. If you don't know your HC site code, make sure you get in touch with someone in our support team, Jen or something like that. Send us an email, and we'll make sure you get your site code. Or you're going to use your email address as well. Hold on a second. Let me get this question here first. Sorry, go ahead. Self-hosted, the solution, go host it. It's a big benefit now with hosted customers. I'll be honest with you. You'll get a lot of these types of advancements as a hosted client, much more rapid.
Are you going to have an icon available for desktops and just get into it like we have now, or are you going to have to go to our website to
with any web browser, Google Chrome is really our browser of choice, if you will. You can just create a shortcut right on your desktop for that. Just remind you too, people that have their existing sites, we're working on a process where we're going to just forward your existing site to the new one. We want you to learn and educate your staff and your teammates and your agency on the new URL, the login when we're ready to do that. But in the meantime, as we transition people, we will set up a forward so that if they accidentally type in the old address, it'll get pushed over to login. But at the end of the day, we want people to get used to typing in login.vcssoftware.com, right? So the other item is the desktop. Schedule out, keeping it updated. What we've done is we set up a link, and then this will reappear again in the near future for all of you, but we set up a link so that basically for all of our hosted customers that are already on the summer release, actually anything after winter, but winter and summer release, you can always get the latest schedule app desktop solution at that download. So your database already only be set up for whatever that link is. So if you need to install a new workstation or just want to make sure you have most up-to-date software, you go to that link and you can just download the latest software. You don't have to call support. You don't have to, it's just a download. It's a download and you can set up the application. Finishing up, staying informed. This is where we're going to do what we can, but I need to make sure that all of you are looking in the right place, right? So, who here has seen in the past month or so one of the what we call KPA Today email blasts? Okay, not as many hands as I need to see. If you are not getting the KPA Today email blasts, make sure you let, say, Jen know and support. Give us a call, make sure we have your updated email address. So how we're going to do this is tomorrow, sometime mid to later part of the day tomorrow, we will be sending out a KPA Today email blast. In that is going to be things that you've all been asking for. We're going to send you the links to the training and support pages. We're going to send you the links to, there's a security designer document that's kind of lengthy. It was like 70-some pages that we didn't print out because we don't want to just kill trees. That's going to be available in this email blast. So a lot of the things that people have asked for, documentation or links, are all going to be put at KDA today. So what we're going to do is we're going to send that out tomorrow afternoon. So by Friday, you don't see a KDA today, let us know. Let's make sure we get you on that email blast list and you get things squared away. What we will do, we're going to resend that again the following Monday, Tuesday. Just depends how many people come in with email addresses we have to update. So we're going to send it out twice. So if you don't get it the first time, get in touch with us. We'll get your email addresses updated, and it's going to go out again as a repeat where you would then get the second version of it. So pay attention to the KDA today. They have updated links. They give you normally tips and tricks, for administrators, keeping your system secure, keeping things in mind like social security numbers, driver's license numbers. If you don't need them, take them out. Those types of items. Links to the training, and what's really nice, I kind of like, is our latest and greatest knowledge-based articles are also listed here. Usually we pick 3 or 4, and we list them and say, hey, these are the ones that are the most popular recently, because the next one that's going to be coming up is going to be very popular, and then you roll over. You'll see that in the KDA Today email plans. They don't come out weekly, they don't come out daily, they come out, they're going to be regularly. So if you don't see one every week, don't start calling, say, I didn't get it. I mean, that would be great if you're that worried about it, but you will see them probably no less than once every 2 weeks. And it may be more quickly than what's going on. Okay? So keep an eye out for them. There'll be one going out tomorrow. If you don't get it by Friday morning, make sure we get your email address updated in our system. Yeah. Nope. No, however you want to do it. Let us know. Yeah. Typically, and this is just a thought, right? We're speaking over it. Typically, you don't want to send it to the whole agency because it's administrative, in nature. So, but if you have an administrative team that is, white-based articles, security tips for the administrator, things like that. All right. We have a lot of good stuff planned for today. Anyone have any, immediate questions? If not, I will be available. I've had a really great time speaking with a lot of you over the past, 24 hours, all times of the day and night, it seems like. So it's been a great experience. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.